Matt Barrett, Matt Barrett, welcome. P-Stance, welcome. So many familiar faces in here. So many familiar faces in here. Looks like we got about 3 or 4 minutes till we kick this off. So welcome. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can. Do you want to throw a thumbs up or something? If you want to come up, or are you just hanging out? I see you. I see you. I 3 invites, so you can give us some insight here. Shortly. Got another request. Let me see. Who that is. Welcome, self. Looks like you made it up.
Thank you. Phil asked me to join. I'm here, so just in case there's any technical questions or those stuff. So yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I wonder if he's joining. On his personal account, or do you know?
I don't know.
Just a heads up to. I guess I will try to monitor the Discord too. If anybody wants to type in, I will stay up to date on that. Just stay up to date on that. Just a heads up. Max, welcome. I sent you an invite.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You sound really good.
Cool. Strangely, I cannot see anybody, but in the space. But at least you can hear.
Yeah, you're great. These spaces are hit and miss. You could potentially try to drop out and come back in to see if you sound perfect. Helps, but yeah, you sound perfect.
All right, good. All good then.
Are you back on, so?
I am, yes, thank you.
Great. Now I can't hear Max. I don't know if anybody else can.
I don't think he was speaking.
Shall we start? Shall we start?
LFG guys, LFG guys.
Hey, Butthead, can we just start right now? Okay. Max, can you
Not
take?
sure. Maybe.
Max, can you take?
Maybe he has some. Maybe he has some technical issues over there. Let me start instead. Let me start instead. We can start with some. We can start with self intro. Brief self intro. Max. I'm Max, CEO of both Inscription and both Inscription and Gateway X. And yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. Even though I'm having myself now hosting. But yeah, I'm really glad. But yeah, I'm really glad. To be here together with the Harmony community, especially with us, who's working with us to make this happen. To make this happen. To host this space. So about myself. About myself. I'm German. I'm in crypto since 2017. So almost 7 years now. Almost 7 years now. Time. Been a crazy time. Worked my way up. From a DJ, almost everybody else. Almost everybody else. And I've started multiple businesses. In the space so far. And yeah, just almost my whole career in crypto. So I would call myself crypto. So I would call myself a crypto native. Later last year, end of last year, inscriptions, became really a hot topic. Me and my team were starting to focus on this area on one inscription first, together with the Harmony team, the Harmony to bring inscriptions to Harmony. But then working while we're
Max, your microphone is dropped.
Oh, okay. Does it work now? Okay. Does it work now?
Yep.
Okay, sorry. Must be my screen lock. So when did you lose me?
It's okay. We can start it.
Yeah, but what's the last thing you heard? Like, should I start again or?
Yeah, just about inscription.
Well, okay, so basically last year we started inscriptions on inscriptions with the Harmony team and first on Harmony one inscription to bring one inscriptions to Harmony, inscriptions to Harmony. But then we were discovering there's so many wider issues with the wider inscription things that need to be solved that we to decide actually to think bigger, work on a project, the overarching issues, and that's where Gateway X started from. That's why I am basically involved in both of these projects. The thing is, for Gateway X, that most inscriptions are at the moment useless and without utility, and especially lacking liquidity in markets. Basically, one scription is a launchpad and a launch inscription and for the Harmony ecosystem. But to make all inscriptions on all chains tradable and liquid, then started to work on Gateway X. So I will talk about both projects a little bit more. Later on, explore what each project is actually about. So yeah, that would be my self intro in that, both OneScription and Gateway X in a nutshell. So Butthead, are you there now?
But Head was telling me that he needs to be invited, so not sure how that can be done.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'm not the host here in this space. Just a speaker. So I think the host only has the ability. But we can go on with your self-introduction, right? Your self-introduction, right? So
yeah, sure.
So thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. So thank you for having me, everyone. My name is Nida. My name from the core team. On the technical side of things, for 2 years and a half, almost 3 years and a half, as a core team member, was with the community before the beginning, since the beginning, Binance IO. So I'm here to answer any questions that you guys may have in that space. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot for your self-intro. Do we have any other guests who introduce themselves?
She as well. She doesn't have yet the speaker role. We were just missing Butthead.
Okay, guys, if you want to speak, you can request the mic. Just press, and I think even though Butthead cannot speak, but can give you the mic. Okay, I'll wait a moment if it doesn't work. Move on. I will just move on our next phase, the Q&A. So yeah, I'll wait. Maybe 30 seconds. And then we'll go on.
Theo said he not sure now. Yeah, I think I can receive.
Okay, we have one more now. Hello. It's Theo.eth. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Sorting the my name is Theo. So I'm product and community lead with Harmony. So what that means is I work closely with Steven, the founder, making sure that our roadmaps and initiatives align our vision and community needs. Some of you have seen some Harmony ecosystem roundups hosted by Head. That's been happening throughout the last year. And yeah, we're just continuing to look forward to new community projects and launches. Hoping everybody here enjoys a great space. The upcoming launch of OneScriptions, the innovation that's coming to Harmony throughout 2024.
Cool, thanks a lot. And we have two more people joined the speaker role. Yeah. Yala Mo Big Win. Yeah. Please go ahead with the self-intro. Can't hear you though. There's technical. Otherwise we go on with Gnarwall.
Hey, good evening.
Okay.
I've been around Harmony primarily as a with an interest in NFTs. Was pretty involved in the ecosystem, and certainly heavily invested in Harmony Punks and the Harmonauts when those launched. I'm still technically a moderator over at the Harmony Discord server. Pretty quiet there these days, but I've taken to learning more about ordinals over in BTC, and very recently interested to see what inscriptions are going to look like here in Harmony.
Awesome. Let's explore that. Together. So we have one more. One last to introduce. Narwhal. Can you introduce yourself?
Oh, that last one was me.
Okay. Okay. Because it shows that. Okay. Anyways.
Hello.
My mistake.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
Okay. Glad that we got some technical issues out. Glad to be here. Glad to be here. Had some connection issues.
Okay. No problem. You can go on. You can introduce yourself.
Okay. I had a little intro. Just wanted to kind of. Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you well. Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of. Wrote up a little intro. Everyone's done the intros. We're kind of going backwards. I just wanted to welcome everybody to the Gateway X Harmony 1 first ever AMA. The timestamp is January 17th, 2024 in the U.S. I'll just skip some of it. Just to be official. Nothing heard here is financial advice, opinion and educational purposes, and hopefully entertainment as well. Just a little bit about myself. I've been involved with the Harmony 1 ecosystem since early 2021. Harmonauts DAO governor, Recovery 1 ambassador, Recovery multi-sig custodian, and like Theo said, host of Harmony 1 ecosystem roundup, focusing on communication. I know that sometimes there's conflicts on Apple. So I'm happy that we're all going here. Was there anybody else that needed to self-introduce?
I think we're done now. We can move. To the Q&A.
Sounds good. I'll kind of throw out the question. Whoever wants to answer it can answer it. Just grab the mic. First of all, what are inscriptions? Why are people so excited about it?
All right, let me take that one. So, inscriptions, started on Bitcoin originally. When someone discovered there's like a kind of a backdoor, enable sort of NFTs on Bitcoin, or digital artifacts. How does it work? There's some kind of metadata that can be attached to Satoshi, which is the smallest unit of Bitcoin, right? Basically, it's like adding a stamp or physical currency, and physical currency data. This kind of data can be images, files, or even smart contracts. This opened the door for a blossoming ecosystem and a wide range of applications. The way it works on other chains, because inscription started on Bitcoin, other chains spread to other chains very quickly. Now we have every chain on every chain. It's slightly different. It's slightly different, right? From technically, maybe after I finish. Sofo can also. The operacy can speak a little bit more on the tech details. So someone from the Harmony team speaks a bit more about how that works technically on Harmony. But let me speak about the utilities of inscriptions. That they can have potential. We have different advantages. They can bring. So they enhance flexibility. They can provide a way to extend the functionality originally of Bitcoin, originally of other chains, also of other chains. Enable a wider range of use cases. Such as NFTs, specifically for Bitcoin, where before dApp development, data storage. Second would be enhanced security. So the tamper-proof nature of inscriptions makes them secure choice for storing and preventing data from being deleted. Especially NFTs that became very popular Bitcoin, because they are actually inscribed on the chain compared to NFTs. Where a lot of the data is stored off chain. And last but not least, the biggest advantage from our point of view, fairness and transparency. Because inscriptions need to be minted. They need to be minted. Only be launched by minting them yourself. This way we can actually guarantee no insiders, VCs, getting some secret deals, or reserving and controlling the supply. And this is a huge advantage. We think about why are people in crypto. We are all here. To invest and potentially have access to finance. So that's why InsFi, right? So that's why InsFi, right? Want to have better access to finance financial tools, to get those wealth opportunities. And this is where inscriptions can really shine from point of view. And that is one big advantage, but there's also other utilities that cannot really be realized. There's a lot because the infrastructure lacking. Like there's hardly any liquidity. Inscriptions are not really tradable on chains by OTC or centralized. So, right, there's a lot of the infrastructure that needs to be built. That's exactly what we want to do. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for breaking it down. I'm excited to learn more. Next question. How does Inscription work from the utility perspective?
Sorry to interrupt, but I think there was someone from the Harmony team actually wanted to go a bit more about how technically inscriptions work on Harmony. Okay. Theo. Was it you? Was it you? Please just go ahead.
Thanks. Thanks. A great kind of overview of the history of the inscriptions and how we've gone from Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Harmony. And also just from a technical perspective and why inscriptions are beneficial to Harmony is kind of this very efficient and protocol that's much better than Ethereum. And then you have cheaper gas fees, so it's cheaper gas fees. Inscriptions better for inscriptions. And then from a technical perspective, it's simply the call data. So whenever you send a transaction, add in hex data. Can be something that you've taken from text, converted to hex, converted to hex, and then transaction you can send it with that data. So what that essentially you're doing is you're inscribing. So that has data in it, and now that's on chain. So that's exactly like you mentioned. This is a significant change because now even with NFTs, right? The current method is where you have a pointer, right? So you don't actually own anything in relation to the image that you have, right? Unless it's on an on-chain metadata, but essentially you're just executing a computer program that's stored on the blockchain, and then it automatically enforces the terms of a digital agreement, right? Once predetermined conditions are met. That's like the very basic of what a smart contract is. So if we look at that, then where are the dangers, right? Well, we see a lot of people where they sign some things and then all of a sudden, it's either a wallet drainer or something happens, right? Where that signature is that predefined condition, right? So once you sign it, it's done. Whereas with inscriptions, you kind of have this layer of separation, exactly like you were saying, Max, where you take this kind of buffer where you step back and you say, wait a minute, let's only look at the call data, right? Like whenever you have an inscription, it's just sending a transaction, right? You're not signing a contract, and that's something that's kind of an innovative step from inscriptions that adds to the security, because now it's no longer like you can take this a step further, where inside the call data you can have an address, right? And we're seeing this early stages with Flip and everything from on the Harmony side as well with inscriptions. It's kind of seeing just how far can we push this, right? How far can we push this call data? How much can we leverage it to where people don't necessarily have to sign contracts and they don't have to risk their assets, but they can still manipulate outcomes and say, like, go from Bitcoin to Harmony, right? In just a simple flip, and all they have to do is send a transaction, right? They don't have to bridge, they don't have to sign a contract or anything. All through call data, all through that information that's inscribed on chain. So there's it's definitely early stages. I think we'll see some Bitcoin as well. I'm sure Narwhal knows what's happening, because he mentioned he's looking there as well. But we've kind of seen the first phase of these inscriptions come out, and then next it'll be that finance side of it. So yeah, excited to hear more, Max, and from anybody from the team about the next steps for inscriptions.
Amazing. Thanks so much. I think you broke it down really, really well. Yeah, you have a knack for putting this tech stuff into words that anybody can understand. I think it's really good. And yeah, let me directly go to the next question, right? How OneScription works from a utility perspective, or what's the project all about? And the goal is for OneScription to pioneer IIO basically on Harmony. And I was talking before about the fair launch that inscriptions enable, and our goal is to transform this capability into a new token launch model. And basically any project could launch via an IIO, so we call it initial inscription offering on Harmony first, and then they can transform it into, for example, an ERC20 or an NFT. So let's say I'm an NFT project and I want to guarantee to my community that I launch in a way that 100% benefits the community and not insiders, whales, you name it. I can launch as an IIO on Harmony first, make sure the launch is 100% fair, and then through our protocol they can transform their inscriptions to an NFT, for example. So that's the goal we are pursuing, and our goal is to build this Inscription 2.0 basically protocol. And also we want to have a launchpad, right, on Harmony that is utilizing IO basically as a new launch model. And first of all, we will launch our once inscription, which is the base inscription on Harmony, and also the basis for our launchpad. And holders of our once inscription will be early contributors, and of course get governance rights, airdrop rights from all those projects that will launch on the launchpad later on. Yeah. So in a nutshell, that would be the introduction about OneScription. Yeah.
Man, it's really cool technology, and I'm happy that you guys are choosing to get on One. It's my favorite blockchain. Did anybody else want to key in on this before we move on? All right, and I'm not sure. Did you explain that really good? Let's see. Let's move on to. Can you explain what the XRC20 you developed is?
Yeah, sure. So again, we start from the call data basically being the raw input data transmitted in Ethereum transactions, and it's generally used to transmit parameters required for smart contract interaction. It can also be used to send text messages, text pixel images, and so on to addresses. And if a user wants to use our XRC20 to inscript hello world, for example, in a transaction, he or she needs to construct a transaction containing the call data. And after the off-chain indexer monitors the transaction, will update the on-chain data contract and notify the user a new inscription has been generated, and the inscribed content is hello world, just as an example, right? And more complex content can also be placed in the inscriptions, such as pre-generated contract functions, factory contracts, etc. And the indexer performs inscription and smart contract operations through our virtual machine and runs based on the STF state transition function rules. And then based on decentralized cross-domain technology, inscriptions, ERC20 tokens, and NFTs can be transferred to each other, thereby achieving basically this kind of Fi that we add to inscriptions, right? That's why we call it InsFi. So there will be more utility. So in short, the goal is to have inscriptions from any chain. We start with EVM chain, but the goal is obviously to go next to ordinals, right, on Bitcoin inscriptions, and then integrate more and more chains to have inscriptions from all these chains be made transferable in the ERC20 token. So that's what the XRC20 protocol will enable. That all these inscriptions from different chains, starting with EVM, can be transferred into ERC20s, which are then tradable. Because one problem with inscriptions currently is that, as I mentioned, they're not really tradable, not transferable. You cannot stake them, right? There's so much, that we need to enable. The utility is very limited at the moment. So that's what the XRC20 protocol is made for, in short.
And Max, it's Narwhal. Something just kind of key up. So are you essentially talking the XRC20 is effectively wrapping inscriptions into token form?
You can put it like this, basically.
Tremendous.
It's decentralized. It's a smart contract, and it's decentralized. That's the thing. So we have other projects out there that they say or they do similar thing, right? They also want to bring inscriptions from any chain, to bring them, for example, to Ethereum or so on. But that will be centralized solutions. So we want to achieve this in a decentralized manner.
Tremendous. And another thing that I heard early on and have been curious about, indexing. As I've started to learn about inscriptions on both ordinals and adscriptions, indexing is done at least semi-manually. It's a slow process. You don't necessarily receive the data of your mint at the time of mint. Is your platform more efficient? Are you able to provide the complete inscription fully indexed faster?
I'm not an engineer, so I'm not really able to answer this question, but I will forward it to our team. So we can definitely, Oh, okay. I just, get an update from the team. Actually, it's possible. Yes, your question, I can confirm it.
Yeah, Narwhal's pretty deep into the inscription, so I'm glad that he has the very technical insight and the questions and the collection as well. Some really cool pieces.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I didn't phrase that question well, especially for anybody else who's listening. When you mint an NFT, it is created as a complete package with the image and the metadata all wrapped up into a token. The inscriptions are done the same way, largely, but because they're not managed by a smart contract, they have to be indexed externally, either manually or hopefully in an automated fashion with Harmony AI into an actual collection so that they can be referenced as a part of a collection rather than standalone.
I wondered if Theo could actually comment on this because I know me and him. I know he's made several, I think, but I was able to. He made one, and I was able to reference it. Can you maybe Theo? Could you maybe speak about how the indexing works, and just so we can maybe help get some of this technical stuff going?
Yeah, I think both you and Narwhal are kind of, and Max as well, are touching at all the good points of indexing. It's kind of that it's essentially what you're doing is parsing these transactions, right? And you're deciding through different protocols of whether this is a valid inscription or if it's not valid, right? And essentially what we've seen with these inscriptions, right, is these JSON arguments, right? And so you can have a mint process through a JSON argument, right? And for those who might not know what a JSON argument is, it's I don't know how I can explain in a simple term, but you essentially just have a string or text, right? You have text in a specific format, and then the people behind the scenes, they look at it, right? So that once they have this pattern or this recognition of how to read it, right, which they call the protocol, right? So inscriptions protocol or Ornos protocol. You can start to have replications, right? So everyone can follow kind of the same minting or transferring or kind of deploy guidelines, right? And this is kind of either it's agreed upon and through social consensus, or it's this indexer, right? That Narwhal and Max were mentioning. So that indexer is kind of the source that pulls all of this together, right? Sees every single transaction, sees the input data from those transactions in those in the hex data or however it's inscribed, and then takes it, puts it together, and then sees okay. So let's take the example, right, that Bud had mentioned about inscribing an image, right? So say you have this picture that you really want to be on Harmony forever, right? You have this one image, and it's pretty small. Maybe hopefully it's pixelated or something. That way you won't have too much trouble. And then you convert it to I believe it's base64, or you convert it with base64, and then now you have you go into UTF-8 to hex code, and I'm going a bit quicker because it's like each step kind of we could draw it out further. But then once you have the hex data, now it can be inscribed, right? Now it's a valid input for a transaction, right? So now you have that what originally started as an image, right, and then base64, and then UTF-8 to hex. Now it's in hex. And then you can send that through a transaction, and then you have the transaction hash, right? Which I'm sure most of the people in the space know what a transaction hash is, right? You go to your Explorer, you follow the hash that you just got from your transaction, and now you can send that to everybody, right? So what I had done earlier is I sent that to Butthead, and I said, hey, like try to find what this image is, right? And you can track back, right? So that means that I mean, 10 years, 20 years down the line, somebody can go all the way back to that specific transaction hash, decode it, and see the image, and it's there forever.
Beautiful description. So one more, right, real quick before we move on. So for our example, you shared the hash with me. So did that mean that you sent me the inscription, or did you share it with me, or is there an easy way to describe that, or should we just move on?
Yeah, so that's where it gets a bit more complicated, and it gets to where there's the social consensus of how does this all actually work, right? And that indexer can kind of keep track of things. So a way that they've done with the inscriptions back when I had done the image inscription was to send what people would do is send the transaction hash, right? So you send that hex in a new inscription. So you would essentially be sending the hash itself encoded in an inscription to someone else, right? To a different address. So then if there was an indexer that was tracking all of these hex data inputs, right? It would find the hash that's related to that image, but now that hash is in the inscription that's associated with your address, right? So it's kind of like the most recent address that's associated with that inscription is the current owner. That's how it works with the inscriptions.
I don't fully understand. I feel a little smarter listening to that, but from Theo's explanation and instruction, I'm looking forward to having this automated. And I don't know, Max, did you want to add anything before we moved on to the next question, or anybody else?
Just maybe very briefly that I was checking with our engineering team. We have actually finished all the indexing tools on Gateway X. That's the first thing. And as an inscription, the inscription would appear, in the platform portfolio. But after you transform it to ERC20, then it can be shown in the wallet, right? So then it's basically just a normal transferable token. Yeah. So that's all I have to add here.
And I'm going to try to attempt to explain in also layman's terms is the inscription doesn't necessarily move. It's fairly stationary, and as you sign a transaction to quote unquote send it to another person, you're going to reference the current owner. So instead of sending an inscription, you're updating the inscription continuously to reference the new current owner. Whereas that XRC20 token, for lack of a better term, wraps that inscription or that reference into a tradable form.
You are the man. I really appreciate that. All right. Safe to say, I think we're ready to move on. I like this one because I had it wrong. I thought it was 110, but please elaborate further on what is the initial inscription offering, otherwise known as IIO.
Yeah, thanks. So I have already briefly mentioned it, right? We call this like initial inscription offering is a new way to make use of core advantage of inscriptions, which is fair launch without insiders, VCs, whales, reserving supply. And this benefits the community greatly, makes sure that the average users is not being dumped on by institutions of big capital. That's in the end, what we all want in crypto. What should be the original, was maybe the original, idea of crypto, Web3. And obviously it's about decentralization, it's about fairness, transparency, and community and space. And we want to get closer to that vision. And inscriptions can serve as the ideal tool to achieve it by enabling projects to launch provably, fairly, and transparently via our IIO solution. And after launching this way, they can convert their inscriptions into NFTs or into token format via our protocol. And I have already mentioned the example, right? Like, let's say any project wants to launch like a token project, then they want to make sure the launch benefits their community and no VCs are in or whatever. So what they can do is launch an inscription on Harmony via gateway X solution and make sure the launch is fair, and then convert the inscription to a token. And yeah, that's a actually a real big deal. And yeah, the projects, as I said, they can make sure that the launch is fair and benefits the community. And this can increase the trust that people have in the project. So in the end, it's a real advantage and solves a real pain point, I would say, in the current industry.
But I have one quick question, because I'm the not technical guy here. When you participate in this, how is, I'm used to minting NFTs, but so when you purchase an inscription, is it like an instant thing that you can reference? Can anybody speak on that? I mean, just to explain how the process is going to work, or does work.
Again, technically, I couldn't describe it in detail, but you also have to go mint it. I mean, that's the point about inscriptions. You go and mint it directly.
Right on. Right on. All right. Leads us into our next question. One of my favorites. Why build on Harmony? Explain more about the tech features of Harmony.
This one I can do very quickly from our point of view, but then I think Theo can elaborate a little bit more on the strength of Harmony. For us, the low transaction fees are a real big advantage. The throughput we can achieve here, scalability. So for us, it's a no-brainer. And of course, we are the first mover as well on this chain, which also gives us an advantage from marketing, community building point of view.
Yeah, I think I do want to bring in Soph specifically, since Soph is one of the leads on protocol, and he's been in Harmony for longer than I have, so he knows the ins and outs of Harmony from a protocol perspective. So go ahead, Soph.
Thank you, Theo. Harmony has a narrative from the protocol side of things where Max already mentioned very low fee, right? 2 seconds finality, going to 1 second, right? So all those is beneficial for transactions and maintaining or even the exchange because of fast exchange and everything. Furthermore, we still have another SHA-1 that is available. So if there is a need to scale, you can quickly use up SHA-1, if you think about SHA-1 here, right? Really XRC 20 and the beginning of 20 between EVM chain, we should be able to use that as well for exchanging and bridging assets between Harmony to other chain. So to us, scalability won't be an issue. And we have SHA-0 we can be used right now, but eventually you can just move to SHA-1 at the same time.
Thanks. So I don't know if maybe you have a microphone issue or not, but I wanted, so these will be able to move across shards, and that kind of leads me into another question. So these will basically be born on Harmony 1, but then is it possible to move to other EVM chains by wrapping or other means?
From what I understand, when talking with the one inscription team, yes, it will be possible.
That's super cool. I just wanted to make sure. All right, Theo, did you want to coin in on that, or should we move on? Or?
I think we can move on. That was great. Thanks, Soph.
Yeah, I always appreciate Theo's both of you guys insights, but so for the insight of how Harmony 1 actually works. All right, moving on. What is GX verse 1s?
Okay, I'll take that one. Thanks. And yeah, again, to make clear distinction between one Inscription and Gateway X, both of these projects. So once, first of all, is first Inscription on Harmony, and the first project that is launching on the platform Gateway X. And ones are also base Inscription for other Inscription projects that launch on Harmony. So much about once. And then GX is the Gateway X platform Inscription, the base Inscription for all future launches on Gateway X. So the chain that it will be launched on for GX is actually not decided yet, still open, and talking to several chains at the moment. Yeah. So that's the difference.
I'm excited to have you guys as the first and for having some new tech on Harmony 1. So definitely, I'm excited. I'll hold off on a couple of my own personal questions. Yeah, it's really neat. It's neat that we're getting this far. All right, I guess we'll move on. So please tell us a bit more about the future roadmap of Inscription and Gateway X.
Okay, let me start with Inscription. So the minting will launch on Friday, so tomorrow, Friday 19th, and the marketplace will launch 2 days after that. The launchpad is already live basically, and the swap launch depends obviously on market condition, also the adoption, because obviously we need people, we need liquidity, right, to go live. So yeah, that's in short the next steps for Inscription. And then for Gateway X, we have a little more elaborate roadmap. So we started in November last year, and until the Q1 this year, we want to get our platform live. The launchpad, then the cross-chain bridge, the decentralized cross-chain bridge, also be launched in Q1, and our trading platform for inscriptions. And we want to issue our Genesis inscription as well in Q1. Then for Q2, we want to connect the EVM inscription ecosystem to the Bitcoin inscription ecosystem, right? So that will be, a real game changer, we believe, for inscriptions. And then the next step would be to have a complete one-stop shop platform for inscriptions, the issuance, cross-chain transfer, and also an aggregator for transactions. And eventually then want to build multiple indexes to monitor the mainstream public chain inscription protocols and facilitate cross-chain inscription usage. And we want to launch multiple projects via our launchpad as well. One more thing that I can mention here is that the second inscription project on Harmony is actually already in work. So that might make some people here happy. We're already working on it. So it's already in the pipeline. Thanks.
Right on. Man, you got really ambitious roadmap and goals, and everything's laid out nice. I'm going to kind of ask Theo here if maybe he knows, or you, Max. So whenever you say that these will be transferable possibly to Bitcoin, I'm just wondering if that would reference the .country that's kind of inscribed over on Bitcoin? Is that kind of a shared thing, or Max, do you have like another way to get over there, or is that for another AMA? So I know we've talked about like the token flip, for instance, that it references what we have over there.
So it will work as a bridge, basically. So maybe for a tech AMA, we should have another one, but it's if you know multi-bit, for example, the tokens MUBI, it's similar to that, but decentralized.
Oh, somebody's not working. Theo, I think you might be having some technical issues. I'm not sure. That or my phone's about ready to blow up. Did you guys hear that?
Yeah. Not that loud, but yeah.
There he is.
Can you hear me?
He might need a... Oh, yeah. Welcome back, sir.
Sorry about that. Yeah, never a dull moment on X. Just wanted to say that the stuff that we have on BTC.country, USDC.country, and then soon to, well, actually, BTC.country isn't released yet, but USDC is, and then USDT.country is not directly a part of Gateway X, but there could potentially be something in the future. That just briefly is a way to flip tokens. So rather than bridging or signing contracts or using different exchanges, either centralized or decentralized, this is more of a way through call data, right? So again, back to inscriptions and find ways that we can leverage inscriptions of going between Bitcoin and Harmony. And what this does is essentially you have this pool of liquidity that is, let's say, USDT.country, right? So that's if you're coming from Binance and you have USDT, or you're on Harmony and you want USDT on Binance, right? There's certain ways that you can access that. And one of those is through this flip, which leverages that call data. So all you have to do is sign a transaction, right? So you can go to a page, send it to that address, and then if you follow all the instructions, all you have to do is pay the transaction fee, right? So there's no service fee, there's no bridging, there's no nothing that you have to worry about contracts. All it is just sending a transaction, paying that fee for the transaction fee. And then you on your wallet that's on Binance, you would get your USDT. And if you're coming from Binance with USDT, then your wallet on Harmony would have 1 tokens.
Beautiful. I think we just got some alpha, guys, so you heard it here first. Max, did you want to talk about like some of the specifics on the launch date and whitelist and things of that nature, or should we look forward to some expos about that, or how do you want to approach that?
Yes, as I said, the meeting will go live tomorrow, right? And for exact updates, please follow our channels. We'll update the community via our official channels. So that's all I want to say at the moment. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I try. All right, I think we're getting pretty close to the end here. I don't know if we wanted to open it up to any questions from the speakers, if there's any more input from the guests on tonight. If we're trying to look to wrap this up, I feel a lot more informed. I'm happy. I'm excited. I guess one more question, because I'm always full of questions. If a person like myself that's not technical whatsoever, I'm trying to learn more, where would be the best place to be able to dig into the technical side of things?
So from my point of view, it would be, first of all, our official channels. Then we have a community on the app called Seer. It's a crypto native social network. We're building our main community over there. I can encourage everyone to try out, sign up, can register with your wallet. I think the UX is quite nice. And there, you can ask all the tech-related questions. Our team is online there 24/7 to help you out with anything. Yeah.
Cool. You actually answered my last question. I think me and Bo